Listen, applause to me carefully, because this moment is not accidental. You did not click. You were not drawn here by chance. And you are not hearing these words because time is passing. You are here because your season has shifted. Something unseen has moved in the spiritual realm, and now it is pressing into your natural world. The delays you endured were not denials. The silence you survived was not abandonment. The waiting you hated was preparation. And now I speak this with divine authority and deep conviction. Your time has come, and you will have millions. Because God does not prepare a person for nothing. And God does not awaken a vision without intending to fulfill it. For too long, you have lived with the quiet question in your heart, wondering when it would finally be your turn. You watched others rise while you stayed hidden. You watched doors open for others while yours stayed shut. You watched wealth pass through your hands but never remained. And yet something inside you never died. That holy restlessness never left you. That inner knowing kept whispering that you were made for more, that you were born for impact, that your life was meant to overflow. That whisper was not pride. That whisper was not imagination. That whisper was God placing destiny inside you before the world ever saw you. Understand this truth deeply. God does not think in scarcity. God does not operate in limitation. God is not threatened by abundance. When God created the earth, He created excess before He created need. He created supply before He created demand. He filled the seas with life, the skies with movement, the land with resources. And when He formed you, He did not reduce His nature. He placed within you the capacity to multiply, to govern, to create, and to prosper. Poverty was never your design. Lack was never your destiny. Struggle was never your final chapter. But there is a process that must happen before promotion. There is a crushing before the oil flows. There is a stretching before expansion arrives. God first works on the inner structure before releasing outer success. That is why your character was tested. That is why your patience was stretched. That is why you endured seasons when nothing made sense. God was enlarging your capacity so that when millions come, they do not destroy you but serve the purpose He placed upon your life. Many people want the harvest, but few endure the planting. Many desire wealth, but few allow God to reshape their thinking. You cannot carry millions with a small mindset. You cannot manage overflow with fear-based thinking. God had to break the old beliefs that told you you were not enough, that success was for others, that wealth was dangerous, that abundance would corrupt you. God was teaching you that money is not evil, that provision is not sin, that wealth in the hands of the righteous becomes a tool of impact. When God blesses you, it is never just for you. It is to bless families, communities, generations, and nations. Hear this clearly. Your delay was divine. God was protecting you from premature elevation. If He had released the millions earlier, you would have lacked the wisdom to steward them, the discipline to manage them, and the spiritual depth to remain grounded. But now you are different. Now your heart is aligned. Now your priorities are purified. Now you understand that wealth is not your source. God is. Money is not your security. God is. Success is not your identity. God is. And because you understand this, you are ready. There comes a moment when God looks at a person and says, now, not tomorrow, not someday. Now this is that moment for you. Your obedience has been weighed. Your faith has been tested. Your perseverance has been proven. And heaven responds to faith that refuses to quit. When God sees someone who trusts Him in obscurity, He can trust them with visibility. When God sees someone who honors Him in lack, He can entrust them with abundance. You must stop thinking small about your future. Small thoughts cannot contain big blessings. Every limitation you accepted in your mind became a ceiling in your life. But today that ceiling is being lifted. God is expanding your vision. He is enlarging your expectations. He is calling you to think beyond survival and into significance. Millions are not coming to inflate your ego, but to fund your assignment. God is about to give you resources that will allow you to move freely, give generously, and live purposefully. The struggle you endured taught you discipline. The disappointments refined your discernment. The betrayal sharpened your wisdom. Nothing was wasted, not a tear, not a setback, not a night of silent prayers. God was building a foundation that could support what is coming. And what is coming is not ordinary. It is not small. It is not fragile. It is strong, lasting, and multiplying. There are opportunities that will soon recognize you. There are connections that will suddenly align. There are ideas that will begin to produce faster than you imagine, but you must stay spiritually awake. Wealth does not come to the distracted. Increase does not follow the careless. God releases provision to those who remain faithful in the unseen moments. Continue to honor God with your thoughts, your words, your actions, and your decisions. Stay disciplined. Stay humble. Stay grateful. Gratitude multiplies what you already have. You are stepping into a season where favor will replace frustration. Doors will open without force. People will support you without manipulation. Systems will work in your favor. This is not luck. This is alignment. When your inner world aligns with God's will, your outer world begins to respond. You are no longer chasing success. Success is responding to you. You are no longer begging for opportunities. Opportunities are being drawn to the authority you carry. Understand that millions do not arrive all at once. They come through systems, ideas, consistency, and obedience. God gives the vision, but you must work it with excellence. You must respect what God places in your hands. Be faithful with the small assignments, because they are rehearsals for greater responsibility. When God sees stewardship, He releases scale. When He sees integrity, He releases influence. Your voice matters. Your ideas matter. Your obedience matters. There are people whose lives will be changed because you prospered. There are problems that will be solved because you had resources. There are doors that will open for others because God opened doors for you. This is not selfish ambition. This is divine assignment. Stop apologizing for your hunger to grow. Stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. God did not call you to blend in. He called you to stand out. You are not arrogant for expecting abundance. You are aligned. You are not greedy for believing in overflow. You are obedient. God delights in blessing those who trust Him fully. Your past does not disqualify you. Why? Our mistakes did not cancel your calling. Your failures were lessons, not labels. God redeems time. He restores years. He accelerates progress. What took others decades will take you moments, because God knows how to compress seasons. When He decides to elevate, no human resistance can stop it. There will be critics. There will be doubters. There will be people uncomfortable with your growth. Let them talk. Their words cannot cancel God's promise. Stay focused. Stay grounded. Stay obedient. Your validation does not come from people. It seems from alignment with God's purpose. You are entering a season where your name will be mentioned in rooms you have never entered. Your work will speak before you arrive. Your value will be recognized without explanation. This is favor. This is acceleration. This is God moving ahead of you. But remember this always. Never let wealth replace wisdom. Never let success replace surrender. Never let abundance replace humility. The higher you go, the deeper your roots must grow. Stay connected to God daily. Seek His direction. Honor His principles. Keep your heart clean. You will not only have millions, you will have peace. You will not only have resources, you will have clarity. You will not only have influence, you will have purpose. This is the fullness God intended for you. The season of barely enough is ending. The season of just surviving is closing. The season of breakthrough is opening. Your time has come. The vision is alive. The door is open. The provision is prepared. And you are stepping forward with faith, discipline, and divine confidence, knowing that God, who began this work in you, is now bringing it into manifestation, expanding your territory, enlarging your influence, increasing your capacity, and releasing abundance that flows through your life and touches generations. Because when God decides to elevate a person who remained faithful in the unseen, the result is not temporary success, but sustained overflow, multiple IED impacts, and a life that becomes a living testimony of divine provision and unstoppable favor. There is a sacred responsibility that comes when God decides to shift a person from waiting to receiving. Many pray for increase, but few prepare their soul for the weight of it. When abundance approaches, God first strengthens the inner walls of discipline, discernment, and obedience. That is why you have felt an unusual seriousness enter your spirit. That is why distractions that once satisfied you no longer hold your attention. God is refining your focus because what is coming will require clarity. Millions demand structure. Overflow demands order. And God never releases what you cannot manage with wisdom. Do not underestimate the power of alignment. When your thoughts align with truth, when your habits align with discipline, when your decisions align with integrity, heaven responds. Wealth does not chase desperation. It responds to readiness. God releases provision where there is purpose. And He multiplies resources where there is responsibility. You are stepping into a phase where every action matters more, where every decision carries weight, where every choice either accelerates or delays momentum. This awareness is not pressure, it is privilege. It means God trusts you. There are unseen systems being rearranged on your behalf. People are being positioned. Circumstances are shifting. What felt like stagnation was actually stabilization. God was anchoring you so that when the current of increase comes, it does not sweep you away. Sudden wealth without spiritual grounding destroys many, but sustained abundance flows safely through those whose foundation is God. That is why your journey took the path it did. That is why shortcuts were blocked. That is why certain doors never opened. God was protecting you from premature success that would have cost you your peace. Understand this deeply. Money responds to value. God is increasing your value capacity. Your skills are sharpening. Your insight is deepening. Your discernment is maturing. You are not just becoming wealthier, you are becoming wiser. You are learning how to see opportunities others overlook. You are learning how to move with patience rather than panic. You are learning how to wait without doubt and act without fear. These are the qual. It is that sustained prosperity. There will be moments when the increase feels intimidating. You may question whether you are truly ready. That humility is a sign of wisdom, not weakness. Confidence rooted in God is quiet, steady, and immovable. It does not boast. It does not rush. It simply moves forward with assurance. You do not need to announce your future. Your results will speak louder than any declaration. God often releases wealth through problems that need solutions. Pay attention to what burdens your heart. Pay attention to what frustrates you in the world. That frustration is often the birthplace of purpose. Where others complain, you are called to create. Where others see obstacles, you are meant to see opportunity. God places vision inside those He intends to resource. Do not fear responsibility. Responsibility is the gateway to authority. When you prove faithful with influence, God increases impact. When you steward resources wisely, God multiplies them. This is a spiritual law. What you respect grows. What you manage multiplies. What you honor remains. Treat every assignment, every opportunity, every connection with integrity, because nothing is random in a season of elevation. There will be moments when silence becomes your strength. Not everyone needs access to your plans. Not everyone deserves insight into your process. God often does His greatest work quietly, away from noise and opinion. Protect your vision, guard your peace, stay anchored in God's guidance, not human approval. As abundance approaches, generosity must remain central. Giving keeps the flow open. A closed hand cannot receive. A generous spirit attracts increase. This is not about obligation. It is about alignment. When you become a channel rather than a container, God trusts you with more. The wealth coming to you will not stagnate. It will circulate, bringing life wherever it flows. You may notice that your tolerance for mediocrity is decreasing. Excellence is becoming your standard. This is not pride. It is preparation. Millions require systems of excellence. God is teaching you to do ordinary things extraordinarily well. Faithfulness in the unseen produces favor in the visible. Your journey will inspire others, even those who never supported you. Some will only understand your path after they see the outcome. Do not carry resentment. Release it. Bitterness blocks blessings. Forgiveness keeps your spirit light and receptive. God lifts those who let go. You are entering a season where timing matters. Delay can cost opportunity. Hesitation can slow momentum. Stay prayerful. Stay attentive. When God signals move, move. When He signals, wait. Discernment will be your greatest asset. Speed without direction leads to loss, but obedience with patience leads to multiplication. There is a difference between chasing wealth and attracting provision. You are no longer chasing, you are aligning. Your peace is your compass. When peace confirms a step, take it boldly. When peace withdraws, pause without fear. God's guidance is gentle but precise. Expect sudden clarity. Expect ideas that unlock doors. Expect conversations that change trajectories. Expect resources to come through unexpected channels. God delights in surprising those who trust Him fully. What you thought would take years may unfold swiftly. This is acceleration, not coincidence. Remain teachable. Growth requires humility. Listen more than you speak. Observe more than you announce. Wisdom keeps wealth, pride repels it. God resists arrogance, but supports humility with favor and grace. Your identity must remain rooted in God, not results. Success is a tool, not a throne. When you remember this, abundance will not distort you. It will refine you. You will walk with confidence, without losing compassion. You will lead with authority, without losing empathy. The future opening before you is larger than personal comfort. It includes legacy. It includes generational impact. Decisions you make now will echo beyond your lifetime. This awareness brings purpose to discipline and meaning to restraint. There is also a deeper transformation happening that many do not see. God is not only changing what you have, He is changing how you see. Perception determines possession. As long as you see yourself as someone struggling to survive, you will subconsciously resist growth. But when God elevates your perception, you begin to move differently. You speak differently. You choose differently. You no longer negotiate with fear. You no longer shrink at opportunity. You step forward with quiet authority, not because you feel superior, but because you know you are guided. This is why your discernment has sharpened. You now sense when something is misaligned before it fully reveals itself. You recognize false urgency. You detect empty promises. God is training you to protect what He is about to entrust to you. Not every opportunity is a blessing. Not every open door leads to increase. Wisdom teaches you when to advance and when to decline. The ability to say no is as powerful as the ability to say yes. There will be moments when obedience requires courage. God may instruct you to move where logic hesitates, to invest where others withdraw, to trust where outcomes are unclear. Faith is not recklessness, it is confidence in divine direction. When God leads, provision follows. When He sends, He sustains. When He assigns, He supplies. You are not stepping into uncertainty alone. You are stepping into alignment. Do not be surprised if old cycles attempt to repeat themselves. Tests often return at higher levels, not to trap you, but to confirm, grow. Where fear once controlled you, faith will now steady you. Where doubt once delayed you, clarity will now propel you. This is how progress reveals itself. Not by the absence of challenge, but by the presence of maturity. You are learning to separate emotion from decision. Emotional reactions drain resources. Disciplined responses multiply them. God is teaching you restraint, not as limitation, but as power. The ability to wait, to observe, to respond with intention. This is leadership. And leadership attracts increase. Your relationship with time is changing. You no longer waste it. You honor it. Time is currency. Focus is investment. Consistency is compound growth. God blesses diligence because diligence reflects trust. When you work faithfully, you declare that you believe tomorrow will reward today's effort. There is also a call to responsibility beyond yourself. As God increases your influence, He also increases your accountability. Integrity becomes non-negotiable. Transparent. Sigh becomes essential. What you tolerate privately eventually affects you publicly. Guard your character fiercely. Wealth magnifies what already exists within a person. Let it magnify wisdom, generosity, and humility. You may feel a growing desire to simplify certain areas of your life. This is divine pruning. God removes excess so that energy flows where it matters most. Not everything needs your attention. Not everyone needs your access. Focus preserves strength. Simplicity preserves clarity. Expect moments of acceleration that feel almost unreal. Progress will come in waves. What once moved slowly will suddenly gain momentum. Do not panic when speed increases. Stay grounded, stay disciplined. Acceleration without stability leads to loss. But acceleration guided by God leads to expansion. Your confidence will no longer depend on outcomes. It will rest in obedience. When you know you are aligned, results cannot shake you. This is unshakable confidence. It does not rise with praise or fall with criticism. It remains steady because it is anchored. You are stepping into a phase where your words carry weight. Speak with intention. Speak with wisdom. Speak with restraint. Life responds to what is declared with conviction and alignment. Guard your speech. Let your words reflect the future you are building, not the past you escape. There will be moments when solitude becomes necessary. Growth requires quiet seasons. In stillness, clarity emerges. In silence, direction sharpens. God often speaks most clearly when noise is removed. Do not fear these moments. They are not isolation, they are preparation. You will begin to recognize that true wealth is not frantic. It is calm, it is ordered, it is intentional. Chaos is not a sign of expansion. Clarity is God brings peace with increase. If peace leaves, reassess alignment. Your generosity will become more strategic. You will give with wisdom, not impulse. You will bless in ways that build, not enable. This discernment ensures your resources create lasting impact. God trusts those who give thoughtfully. As influence grows, temptation also increases. Stay alert. Pride whispers subtly. Comparison distracts quietly. Stay rooted. Gratitude protects the heart. Remember where you came from. Not with shame, but with appreciation. Gratitude keeps you grounded and receptive. You are not becoming wealthy to escape life. You are becoming resource to engage it fully, to solve problems, to create opportunities, to bring stability where there is uncertainty. This is purpose-driven abundance. Your story will become evidence, not for boasting, but for encouragement. Others will see what alignment produces. They will see that faith combined with discipline creates results. Your life will speak without explanation. Stay faithful in process. Stay obedient in motion. Stay humble in success. God elevates those who remain teachable. The higher you go, the more you rely on guidance rather than impulse. This season requires courage, patience, and consistency. You are equipped for all three. God does not call without capacity. What He demands, He empowers. What He promises, He fulfills. You are walking into a reality where provision meets purpose, where resources match responsibility, where abundance reflects alignment. This is not sudden luck. This is sustained favor. And as you continue forward, grounded in wisdom, guided by faith, and anchored in obedience, the increase unfolding before you will not only transform your life, but establish a legacy of impact, stability, and provision that reflects the faithfulness of God, working through a person who trusted Him fully and walked forward without retreat. There is a sacred law you are now learning to live by. Increase follows order. Disorder repels growth. Confusion drains momentum. That is why God has been pressing you to bring structure into areas you once neglected. Finances, routines, commitments, relationships. Nothing is exempt from refinement. When elevation approaches, God is not punishing you by demanding order. He's protecting you from loss. When systems are aligned, abundance has somewhere safe to land. You are also being taught the discipline of restraint in success. Many fail not in lack, but in overflow. When recognition comes, when money begins to flow, when options multiply, restraint becomes wisdom in action. You do not need to touch everything available to you. Discernment teaches you that access does not mean assignment. God leads selectively, not impulsively. Every move must serve purpose. Notice how your appetite is changing. What once excited you now feels empty. What once felt urgent now feels unnecessary. This is maturity. Go. D is rewiring your desires so that you are not led by impulse but by intention. When desire is purified, direction becomes clear. When direction is clear, progress accelerates. There will be seasons when your obedience is misunderstood. People may question your decisions because they cannot see what. You see, do not explain what God has not instructed you to explain. Silence is often a shield. Let outcome speak. God vindicates obedience in time. You are learning the difference between pressure and purpose. Pressure rushes, purpose guides. Pressure demands instant results. Purpose builds lasting fruit. When God is leading, there is urgency without anxiety, movement without chaos, growth without compromise. Learn to recognize this rhythm and stay within it. There is also a call to mastery. God honors excellence because excellence reflects respect. Whatever He places in your hands, manage it with precision. Refine your skills, sharpen your mind, strengthen your discipline. Preparation is an act of faith. When you prepare diligently, you declare that you expect increase. Do not fear scale. God never expands a person without expanding their capacity first. The challenges you face now are training you for larger responsibilities. What feels heavy now will feel light later because strength H grows through resistance. You are becoming capable, not overwhelmed. Your emotional stability is also being strengthened. Emotional maturity preserves wealth. Reactivity destroys opportunity. God is teaching you to respond, not react. To pause, not panic. To observe, not assume. This composure will protect you when pressure increases. You are entering a phase where discernment in relationships is critical. Not everyone who celebrates you can steward access to you. Proximity matters. Energy transfers. Choose environments that reinforce discipline, integrity, and growth. Distance from house is not arrogance, it is wisdom. God is also aligning you with timing. There is a time to sow and a time to reap. There is a time to push and a time to preserve. You are becoming sensitive to seasons. This sensitivity prevents waste and maximizes return. Expect your confidence to deepen without becoming loud. Quiet confidence is powerful. It does not need approval. It does not seek validation. It stands. DS firm because it is rooted in alignment, not opinion. You will notice that fear no longer has authority over your decisions. It may attempt to speak, but it no longer leads. Faith now informs your actions. Courage is no longer forced. It is natural. This is evidence of growth. God is also shaping your leadership. Leadership is not control. It is responsibility. It is service with authority. As your influence grows, remember that leadership requires listening, humility, and accountability. Those who lead well are trusted with more. There will be moments when patience is tested again, even after progress begins. Do not interpret delay as denial. Sometimes God slows momentum to protect quality. Rush growth can collapse under its own weight. Trust divine pacing. You are being prepared to handle visibility. Visibility amplifies everything, strengths and weaknesses. That is why God insists on inner work. Integrity is protection in public success. What is hidden eventually surfaces. Keep you, inner world, clean. Your generosity will open doors you cannot open with strategy alone. Giving aligns you with the flow of provision. It keeps your heart free from attachment and your hands open to receive. God increases those who give with wisdom and joy. You are no longer defined by what you lack. You are defined by what you steward. Stewardship attracts trust. Trust attracts opportunity. Opportunity attracts increase. This sequence is divine and reliable as your world expands. Remember to remain teachable. Wisdom grows through humility. The moment you stop learning, growth stops. Stay curious, stay grounded, stay open to correction. There is a deep peace available to you now, a peace that does not depend on circumstances. This peace will guide your decisions more accurately than emotion ever could. Protect it. You are moving from survival thinking to legacy thinking. Decisions now carry long-term impact. This awareness refines your choices. You are building something that will outlast seasons and trends. God is faithful in completion. What He initiated in you, He continues to develop. You are not walking alone. Guidance is present. Provision is active. Purpose is unfolding. There is a refining of trust taking place that goes beyond belief and enters reliance. Belief says God can do it. Reliance says God is doing it even when evidence has not yet appeared. This level of trust changes how you move through uncertainty. You no longer beg for reassurance. You walk with assurance. You do not require constant signs because your alignment has become your confirmation. God trains His people to recognize direction through peace, not panic, through conviction, not noise. You are learning to govern your inner dialogue. What you allow yourself to rehearse privately determines what manifests publicly. Fearful thoughts weaken resolve. Disciplined thoughts strengthen outcomes. God is teaching you to speak to yourself with truth, not emotion. When doubt tries to rise, you counter it with remembrance of how far you have already come. Memory becomes a weapon against discouragement. Gratitude becomes fuel for endurance. There is also a strengthening of patience that is strategic, not passive. This patience does not sit idle, it prepares actively. While others rush ahead without foundation, you're being trained to build beneath the surface. Strong roots support tall growth. God prefers depth before height. When elevation comes, it will not wobble, it will stand. You are becoming skilled at recognizing the difference between opportunity and distraction. Distraction promises quick reward but drains long-term vision. Opportunity aligns with purpose and produces lasting fruit. God sharpens your ability to weigh outcomes, to assess cost, to choose what serves the future rather than what satisfies the moment. Notice how your emotional reactions are losing their dominance. You are no longer ruled by impulse, you are ruled by principle. This shift is critical. Emotional leadership creates instability. Principle-based leadership creates trust. Trust attracts partnership. Partnership multiplies capacity. This is how God builds sustainable increase. You are also being invited into deeper stewardship of influence. Influence is not measured by how many notice you, but by how many are strengthened through you. God expands influence for service, not display. When your focus remains on contribution rather than comparison, growth becomes natural. Comparison weakens purpose. Contribution strengthens destiny. Expect moments when clarity arrives suddenly, like light breaking through fog. Ideas will organize themselves. Plans will align. What once felt scattered will feel ordered. This is not coincidence, it is coherence. God brings coherence to those who remain faithful in process. When inner clarity forms, outer movement accelerates. There will be times when you must choose integrity over convenience. These choices may cost you in the short term, but will protect you in the long term. Integrity compounds. It builds a reputation that opens doors no strategy can force. God honors those who refuse to compromise under pressure. You are also learning how to rest without guilt. Rest is not laziness, it is restoration. God designed rhythms so that strength renews and perspective sharpens. When you honor rest, you honor sustainability. Burnout is not a badge of faithfulness. Balance is your awareness of consequence is deepening. You understand that every action plants a seed. Every word carries weight. Every habit builds momentum. This awareness does not create fear. It creates intentionality. You are no longer careless with energy, time, or focus. Precision becomes your ally. The path ahead will not always be easy, but it will be purposeful. Resistance will refine you. Challenges will mature you. Victory will stabilize you. Through it all, guidance remains constant. Stay aligned. Stay attentive. Stay disciplined. The unfolding before you is precise, intentional, and sustained. God is shaping a life that can carry abundance without distortion, influence without corruption, and success without loss of soul. Continuing to enlarge your capacity, refine your vision, and deepen your trust as provision unfolds in a way that reflects wisdom, purpose, and enduring faithfulness.